You're probably wondering why your ice cream went away. Well, Susie, the culprit isn't foreigners, it's global warming.
I am Al Gore. I used to be the next president of the United States of America. I've been trying to tell this story for a long time, and I feel as if I've failed to get the message across. I was in politics for a long time, and I'm proud of my service. There is another such assumption that a lot of people have in their minds right now about global warming that just ain't so.
So far off in the environmental extreme, we'll be up to our neck in owls and out of work for every American.
My son pulled loose from my hand and chased his friend across the street. It just turned my whole world upside down, and then shook it until everything fell out. My way of being in the world, it just changed everything for me. How should I spend my time on this earth? We started measuring carbon dioxide in 1958, and you can see that by the middle 60s, when he showed my class this image, it was already clear that it was going up. So if you look at 1,000 years of temperature and compare it to 1,000 years of CO2, you can see how closely they fit together. This is the difference between a nice day and having a mile of ice over your head. Carbon dioxide, having never gone above 300 parts per million, here is where CO2 is now. Here's what it's going to be in less than 50 years. You've heard it off the charts. Within less than 50 years, it'll be here. There's not a single fact or date or number that's been used to make this up that's in any controversy. The so-called skeptics look at this and they say, so, if this much on the cold side is a mile of ice over our heads, what would that much on the warm side be? Actual measurements of atmospheric temperature since our Civil War. In any given year, it might look like it's going down, but the overall trend is extremely clear. And in recent years, it's uninterrupted and it is intensifying. In fact, if you look at the 10 hottest years ever measured in this atmospheric record, they've all occurred in the last 14 years. And one question we as a people need to decide is how we react when we hear warnings from the leading scientists in the world.
A number of very reputable scientists have said that one factor of air pollution is oxides of nitrogen from decaying vegetation. This is what causes the haze that gave the Big Smoky Mountains their name.
At the end of the last ice age, as the last glacier was receding from North America, the ice melted. An ice dam on the eastern border formed, and one day it broke. And all that fresh water came rushing out, and it diluted the salty, dense, cold water, made it fresher and lighter, so it stopped sinking, and that pump shut off. And the heat transfer stopped. And Europe went back into an ice age for another 900 to 1,000 years. That means an increase of only 1 degree at the equator, but more than 12 degrees at the pole. Or if half of Greenland and half of West Antarctica broke up and melted, this is what would happen to the sea level in Florida. lot of people live in these areas. The Netherlands, one of the low countries, absolutely devastating. The area around Beijing, that's home to tens of millions of people. Even worse, in the area around Shanghai, there are 40 million people. Worse still, Calcutta, and to the east, Bangladesh, the area covered includes 60 million people. Think of the impact of a couple 100,000 refugees when they're displaced by an environmental event. And then imagine the impact of 100 million or more.